Welcome back from the break. Yeah, so moving on with the economic calendar. At 4 p.m. there will be another speech. Now, at midday there's going to be a speech by Frank Elderson, a member of the European Central Bank. And like that won't be enough. At 4 p.m. he will come back again and speak. So whatever market impact we get from his speech at midday, he's going to come back and speak after the president of Ukraine and all these other events taking place. So when he comes back, we're definitely going to have some continuing kind of impact in the direction that he originally took. So that will be quite interesting for today. Another speech from Frank Elderson, a member of the European Central Bank. Yeah, so 10 minutes after 4 p.m. affecting the affecting the US dollar. The speech by Frank Elderson will be affecting the euro. So 10 minutes after that speech has commenced, because I don't think he can speak for just 10 minutes. But there will be another speech from the Federal Reserve. This one is affecting the US dollar. It will be from a member of the Board of Governors called Christopher Waller. Christopher Waller. It's called Christopher anyway, so we are very, very much familiar with the name Christopher. But anyway, one thing you need to know is that the impact of that speech is medium impact, and it will be after all those events affecting the US dollar. Then at 4:45, we shall have the market events for the US dollar. The first one is the market manufacturing PMI. So the same as before. If you have a figure above 50, that will be good for the US dollar. So we have the market manufacturing PMI. There is the market composite, the market PMI composite. That one, the previous figure is 55.9. We don't really have a consensus there, but we could still be above 50, which is good for the US dollar. Then there will be the market services PMI. At the same time, at 4:45, that one will be, the previous figure is 56.5, the consensus is 56, very well above 50, so that will be that will be very interesting. So this is generally positive for the US dollar. But if the actual figures come out for any of those events, from Europe, from France, from Germany, if those events have some kind of any figure below 50, that will be very, very bad. That's why you will get your good negative impact on the chart. So even if something is bad, you can still make money selling it. If it's good, you make money buying it. You shouldn't just stick to one side of the market. Here you can buy and sell and still make a profit either way. At 50 minutes past 4, there will be another speech from the Federal Reserve. So his name is Charles Evans. Charles Evans. So he is the 9th President and Chief Executive Officer of the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago. So his speech will be there today at 4:50. Very important speech. It will have a good market impact on the US dollar, obviously. After all these events have had their impact, he will get his. That will be at 4:50. Then at 6, another speech from the Federal Reserve. This one here is from Rachel Bostick, an economist and academic. So this one here is going to have another speech. So all these speeches here will have very crucial information affecting the US dollar, affecting the Federal Reserve, and that's where the money is for America. So what they talk about will definitely have some impact on the market. If you don't get some direct impact right then and then you expect some impact as the charts move on, and that is a good impact because it gives you a trend. If it doesn't give you a trend, if it just gives you one candlestick, today, that won't be the impact will not be really good. But the kind of impact that gives you a trend, now that is the good impact that we can trade off and even scalp off and make some good profits as as the time goes on. Okay, so that is it with the economic calendar. Let's take a look at these charts. I think the last chart we looked at yesterday was the Euro GBP. There are those events that were affecting the Euro that gave us this kind of a retracement, and we talked about it, that we're going to retrace maybe to the 50.0, maybe to the 38.2, maybe, and it looks like the retracement has somehow run its course to that top, and you have the RSI moving downwards, and yeah, so instead we're looking at these white lines crossing above the signal line, which they did. Now we are waiting for them to cross back, and if they cross back and this price breaks 61.8, we are definitely going to sell somewhere below there to down there, maybe about a 75 pips of Euro GBP. Yeah, so yeah, that's it for the Euro GBP. Let's take a look at some charts of interest. Bitcoin is now at $42,966, but it's at a point of resistance. So here we have these bottoms that have been moving like this, and we have these tops which have been moving like this as well. We might definitely have a, this might be a top. We're at the 38.2 in a very long term Fibonacci retracement level, and price is moving in that kind of a triangular formation. So we have, it's going to be caught up inside there for some time. If it breaks out, that will be very good. If it bounces off here, we shall look at this price headed for this other point of support. Yeah, and we also have the RSI, moving so well in that upward direction. Yeah, and it also has its own kind of triangular formation there. So we have these bottoms moving up like that, and we also have the tops moving down like that. So yeah, that is quite a something. So here, if we have a breakout in both of these, then we shall have some energy to buy. Yeah, for those who actually buy and sell Bitcoin in these charts on MT4, make some good money. Yeah, make some good money, but it also you can also lose some money if you just enter this chart here without any kind of precaution. Okay, that's one chart of interest. Another chart is Brent. Yeah, Brent crude oil. Now, the price of oil just shows you what's happening in the world. Yeah, a lot was said that we're going to get an alternative fuel source, not Russia. Russia has been blocked, but we can handle. We can handle the situation. Yeah, so this price movement shows you that the down here is where where we believed that we can handle the situation. But slowly by slowly, price is now at $121 per barrel, and this one is quite okay. This is not good news. Yeah, this was a dangerous zone. $100, $110, but 120, especially without these jumps taking place, it's quite. It's okay. The media is silent about this, but prices are moving upwards, and that is definitely going to affect us somehow. Maybe after today's speech, if President Zelensky can say something about oil, maybe if something comes up, we might have these prices moving downwards. For this oil chart, it is entirely fundamental. You can't say you have price movements because of this and this and this. There could be some technical issues there, but it is primarily fundamental. What the presidents of the world are talking about is exactly what is impacting this chart. So yeah, so maybe, so alarm, there will be cause for alarm if prices hit this top. That is about $133.5. So the price hits that top and continues above. That's when oil will come back to the news. That's when we shall be looking at oil and try to analyze why is oil moving up? What does this mean for Africa? What does this mean for Uganda? You saw some analysis where you see that this rising oil prices can affect the price of beans in a common shop in Uganda. So, yeah, when the price hits 133, right now it's still in some kind of a grace. It's still bad, $120 is still bad, but it's in a grace area whereby you can, you can wait for people to say something, and the big people. But if it crosses above that line, which is the highest it has been previously, then that's when the alarm will begin. Okay, so that is Brent crude oil, CFD. Now we're here at gold. I think for gold, we had drawn a certain number of things. I don't think that's the gold chart that we're looking at yesterday, but we had a number of, we had a number of things drawn there. We had, we ended up with these Fibonacci retracement levels. Remember, there were some funds, sometimes MT4, you boot it and you find that it has some kind of a time lapse in it, which is okay. So this divergence gave us this upward move, and the price of gold has been in this, it's been in this kind of a range market, and so that is a 1 hour chart. Let me trace yesterday at this time. Today is the 24th, so I'm looking for 23rd. So the price was around here yesterday. That is about 11 a.m. So the price of gold was around there yesterday. And so we looked at this, giving us this upward movement, and then we looked at that. Let me just delete these ones and we redo what we did yesterday. So we're looking at the funds of the Fibonacci levels. So we're looking at this divergence giving us that, and it ran out of gas. Then the funds giving us that, and we saw that these funds had been broken all and tested, and then a new movement outside the funds was there. Then another set of funds was drawn from this top to that bottom, to give us kind of some levels to follow. So, so looking at these funds, yesterday we were just below the 78.6, which is around there, and so the funds actually, the price broke the funds just there, and it's quite it was a really nice break. So yesterday, let's see, that is 9 p.m., 10 p.m. So we looked at that at around this time yesterday, and price has broken there and has moved above. So we have what looks like some kind of upward movement. And if you look at this RSI, this is a 1 hour chart. So for the RSI, we have a slightly oversold position. Slightly oversold, which we're looking at for a retracement. We don't really have divergence there. Now we have these low points moving upwards and other low points moving upwards, but we have good points of support and resistance there. So where this 78.6 is, there's definitely a point of resistance there, and we can assume that this one has run its course as well. These are these funds, but we definitely have a resistance there that price is trying to break. Price is trying to break that resistance, and it's quite, it's very, very important. Very, very important to note. So once we break above there, then we could continue moving upwards. Maybe that calls for these Fibonacci retracement levels again, that put us at that 23.6. So for XAU USD, not so long term, but for some many hours, if we have price breaking this point of resistance, then we can buy maybe to that 38.2. So if we put a buy order above all of this action, we could collect some about 189 pips of gold. Yeah, maybe 185 pips minimum, so that you don't really risk it. You don't risk your account to the very top of that price movement. Yeah, so that's for gold. I think now it makes sense why the funds were not there today. Yeah, but then if we have that price moving upwards, then you can still use the funds to, to give us some kind of guidance. So this is the lowest point, and that is the first high point. So automatically we insert these funds there, the Fibonacci funds from that bottom to that top, to give us the guidance of how these prices are moving. So so this this first fund has really provided good resistance. You can see it there, good support along that line, good resistance there. So prices are being contained within these lines, and there is a very big gap in between the 61.8 and the 78.6. A gap which I would very much love to feel some time to come. So with that equal distance between this yellow line from the blue to that other yellow line, that's what we have. The price is being supported off that medium point in between the funds of the 68, the 61.8 and the 78.6, which is a good level to keep out, to keep watch. So here we have the resistance there, first of all. Then we start buying above that resistance. So if this fan level is broken and that resistance is broken, then it will be a very good sign to start buying. So that's where we are right now. Another, okay, let me delete this right now. Another point that could have made sense for that, you have to try everything. You can't just try one thing, and analysis can sometimes be a headache. So we have this top to that bottom. So there is that, and okay, these levels are also broken yesterday. So you can follow these events. You can see how they provide support and resistance. And now we have from this bottom to this top. That's another. I'm just trying to exhaust everything before we leave this chart. So from this bottom to the top there. Okay, before we get to that, we have some price action here. We have this trend line. If this becomes a point of resistance, this trend line, it has been previously support with this area, with that area, and then it was broken there. If it becomes resistance, which I'll have two resistance levels, that main resistance from that flat line from the previous price movement, then this one here also giving us resistance. So if price is resisted there, this one here is for the bearish analysis. The other one was showing us how we are going to buy. If we break above there, we continue buying like that. Now the alternative is the bearish, so we add these funds as well, and that's where we are. So if this level here is tested, then we look at price breaking these other following levels. So if we buy, we've already seen how to follow the support and resistance levels as we buy. If we sell, these are the ones we're going to follow. So you wait for price to break either upwards or downwards, and then this is a 1 hour chart. So in a 5-minute chart, let me show you what a 5-minute chart looks like with all those funds. Okay, the chart is still loading. It's still on 17th of Feb. But the way this chart will look like with all those levels loaded, there will be some good gaps in between in between all these funds, which will be nice for scalping in a smaller time frame. Okay, so let's just take a quick look at some charts. Euro GBP, we're still waiting on it. GBP USD, yesterday we had a very nice sale. After all those events taking place, the chart actually sold very well. This is what we are looking at. I think we drew, anyway, GBP USD yesterday. Okay, so we're looking at this as being some kind of a reversal. I can just take a look at it quickly, and yeah, price actually broke so many levels in a very nice way, basing on what the news was telling us, which was quite good. So this one is in a kind of a range market, but there are so many events that are coming today, which will give you some market impact there. Now we have USD JPY. This chart has been very bullish for some time, and it has just broken another area of support. Yeah, so this had divergence yesterday. We had those tops moving downwards, these tops moving upwards, and there was some nice downward movement. But it looks like right now the force has taken it. Yeah, not the force of Star Wars, but the force of price. It has, it has pushed and broken this area of support, which is up there. So these charts of the JPY charts have really been moving in this one direction for so long. Yeah? So yesterday there was this, there was that divergence, and always when you have divergence, the bottom part between point A and point B, the very bottom part, is normally the first take profit. So there, profit wasn't really touched, but price got closer. But looking at how it is right now, if you follow divergence and if you sold there, price has broken the high point of divergence, which means could continue moving upwards. So selling, remaining in a sell trade right now may not be very good. You may need to get out there. If you have any reason to stay in, that's okay. That is very, very okay. Yeah, so our USD JPY chart, the weekly chart that we're looking at with all of these lines, it's now at that top. It has moved above that area of support. So that area of resistance that we had recently drawn. So, yeah, so if this week's candlestick closes up there, and the one of next week opens above, we can look forward to trading to that 100.0 mark. Yeah, there's some good number of pips there from now. There are about 411 pips, yeah, which is quite good. So that, if your analysis gives you permission to go for that, then you can go for it. Yeah, so we looked at all these charts. Euro CHF is trending on this 38.2 Fibonacci fan in the 4-hour chart after being okay. Yeah, let's just keep watching this one and shall do some in-depth analysis. USD CHF, we had this break up there. I don't really see a continuation of price moving up. It has really been contained down there. So let's wait for the market movement this week and see what to do about that chart. Yeah. Australia, Japan has broken that level yesterday and today. So yeah, all the charts that have the Japanese yen, they are all moving in this. They're a bit crazy, but yeah, I'm going to prepare some analysis for them, and we see how far they can actually go. Yeah. So I think that's the last chart for today. So yeah, so these funds and retracement levels, I think I will put in some pivot points starting tomorrow, so that we know exactly what pivot points are. We can even do some calculations and see how to calculate them, and then you'll understand how how a blessing it can be to have an indicator that automatically calculates these things. Yeah. So yeah, so keep on doing analysis. These charts that have the JPY as a secondary currency, they are moving upwards in a very strange way. Yeah, we shall look into Japanese news. It hasn't been so much recently, but we're going to look into Japanese news and know why all these other currencies are growing. In Japan, yeah, it's not a very big interest for so many people, so we'll just concentrate on the euro, the GBP, and yeah, let's look at Japan as well and see what's happening there, so that we know where to put our limits, so that we know what we're trading, and we don't just get excited seeing the chart moving upwards and we just continue moving upwards with it. Yeah, so yeah, I think that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Goodbye.